What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about letting go, right? And this stems from the two interviews I did with Rachel Greenwell. If you're watching this out of context, I just had her on the channel a couple days ago. Interviewed her about her story with addiction and recovery, and then I was on her podcast the next day, and that's released out there too. I'm going to have a link to her YouTube channel on the end screen here at the end of the video. But through those two discussions, I really, got to learn a lot of things. Not only did I learn more because of her story, but as I was telling her my story, uh, I kind of learned more that way too, which was interesting. Even though it's my story, but one of the sections we talked about towards the end of my story on when you're in recovery and trying to move on with your life, you'll find that you have situations where you need to let go. So what does that mean? Well, we all have been in that situation where you feel like someone insulted you, or whether they really meant it or not, and you just have to let it go. Just let it go. It's not worth the argument, right? You've all said that to yourself before. I just gotta let that go. So that's valid. But sometimes you gotta let go of people, and that is a harder thing to do, but more important than just letting go of what someone said to you. Because if you are in recovery, or really just anything in life, if you know someone that's toxic, then you might want to let it go. And why I say that is because at some point, you have to control what you can control, and that's your life. And you'll never be able to control what other people say or think about you. Your responsibility is how you react to it. Again, that's the only thing you can control. So, where this relates to recovery is when you quit drinking or quit doing drugs or whatever it may be, after doing it for a long time, now you realize that your social circle, your group of friends change, but not really. You're the one changing for the better. You're doing something for yourself and you're trying to be better. So now when you're looking through that clear lens, you can start noticing who's still your close friends, who's now still a nice person and a friend, but you know what? It seems like the only time we really saw each other was at the bars when we were drinking. So now I'm not going to the bars, so I don't see those people really much anymore. That's okay. But then you have another group of people that will go out of their way to plow through your boundaries. Whether they mean it or not, um, some people are just super nice, and they just don't understand that they're kind of will creep into your boundaries, and naively and innocently. But if you have someone out there that is toxic and is not on your side and is upset in a way that you're changing your life, and they try to flip it around like you're somehow hurting them, like you're hurting this person because you're changing and you're trying to do something better for your life, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Clearly, that person is not in line with you anymore. Doesn't mean you have to hate this person. Doesn't mean you have to, be rude or abrupt. But deep down, you have to understand and get honest with yourself and know that this person just isn't in line with me anymore. We're on different paths, and I need to cut bait. Now you're like, cut bait? And I'm sure plenty of people know that saying, but if not, think of being in a boat in the ocean, and you throw a line in from your fishing pole and you catch the biggest shark in history. and it's taking the ship down. It's going to take the boat with it. Well, do you let the shark take you down and drown you and kill you, or do you cut the fishing line and cut the bait? You cut the bait, right? And the really hardcore ones are the ones that will now deliberately try to harm you in the sense of pushing you towards doing what you don't want to do anymore and just getting in your boundaries. And those are the ones that are major red flags, because if you don't do something about separating yourself from those type of people, they will kind of take you down. It's still your responsibility. You can't let them take you down, but they're going to go after your weaknesses. And I think deep down it's because they probably know that they're hurting or they have an issue and they're too afraid to do it for themselves. So I experienced that in high school or with some other friends where we're all smoking pot and always hanging out with each other. The minute we'd feel like one person is straying away to another friend group, or they just weren't in the mood to party or whatever, it's like everyone else is offended. Oh, are you too good for us now? What, are you too good for us now? Stupid teenage stuff. But there's plenty of adults that way. And in a way, they feel like they're losing a friend, but also selfishly, they're losing the person that enabled them to feel good about getting drunk or whatever it is. You lost your drinking buddy. And just be careful and pay attention to the people around you, and know that if you're doing it for the right reasons and your heart's in the right place, then it's okay to walk away and just let go of some people. Now, you're thinking, Derek, well, I know someone in my life just like that, but it's a close family member. All right, so family's family. We can't cut family out completely, although plenty of families do. And that's where you're just going to have to get better at boundaries. And man, have I learned about how setting boundaries can be in my life. It's been wonderful to finally figure out and have the courage and the confidence to say, no, I'm not doing that. And you're not going to talk to me that way. And this is how it's going to be now. And you like it or leave it. It's my life. you know, I'm not bossing anyone else around with my boundaries. I'm not making anyone do anything outside of the ordinary for themselves. All I'm asking is that, hey, stay on the other side of the boundary, please. And it's a great feeling. It's so amazing. So if you are in any way codependent, like I used to be, didn't even realize I was, but now I look back on it, it was like, oh yeah, I always was afraid and cared about what people thought about me or were saying about me. And that's a special kind of hell, because you don't know who to be. You're always trying to please whoever is around you. And you're going to act a certain way and be a certain personality depending on who you're around. And that's just a miserable way to live, because you're not being yourself. And it goes back to letting go. If you're truly trying to walk down the path and change your life and be who you are, you're going to lose friends. Family members are going to question, and why are you different? Well, I'm different because I'm not hammered every night like I was before. I'm a different person now. And the ones that really get it, even the ones that might not get it at first, after several months, if they're still around, now they're supporting you, there you go. Those are your friends right there. The ones that don't get it and in a way want to kind of see you fail, you got to cut that bait. And it might be painful, and you might hate doing it. Obviously, no one likes doing that. All I say is try to find a polite way to do it. I guess if there's a polite way to do it, but be careful, because if you're not careful and you let your guard down, you're gonna let this person take you down. And I say that you're going to let that person. That person can't take you down unless you let him or her. And then it goes back to your responsibility. It's up to you to decide who's going to get through that boundary or not. So, well, there you go, y'all. Again, thank you so much for watching my interview with Rachel. It was a great story she told, and I hope you all go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Her name is Rachel Greenwell. The thumbnail says Rock Bottom to Badass, which is actually the name of her podcast. So check her out. In that video, in that description area, you're going to have all kinds of information and links to go to find her. And awesome. More interviews to come. I would say one every few weeks. I'm going to throw an interview out here on the channel because I know there's a lot of people that do like that kind of content. It is different. It's not for everybody, and I understand that. I too, when I watch my YouTubers, I watch the channels for them. And when they do an interview here and there, it is different. Sometimes I don't engage with it, and sometimes I do. But there is an audience for it, and it's nice to have other voices telling their stories because we can all relate to mental health stuff and addictions, whether you have it yourself as you're watching this or you have a close family member or friend that's dealing with it. Everyone is touched with some of the pitfalls that comes with mental illness and addiction. So, all right, y'all. I hope you all have a good night. We'll talk to you again later. Bye.